What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of Tasty Tuesday on Tasty Loot Gaming, the show where we talk about gaming news in the prior week. Weekly show, I meant to say that, but I did not. In case you don't know, my name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Cody.
And we actually have quite a bit of news to talk about this week, so we're going to do a shotgun round real fast, talk about the smaller tidbits of news, and then we'll get into the bigger topics. So, real quick, BioShock devs are hiring for a new FPS. Let's see, narrative FPS. What do we think of that?
Well, I mean, after playing BioShock Infinite, I would love to see them create something like that again, obviously.
Yeah.
The only concern I have is I know some of the talent left.
The main guy, and I forgot his name. Sorry. Ken Levine. Ken Levine left, who is the mind behind BioShock. It will be really interesting, in my opinion, to see where they go with it without him. But I would love to see more because as much as the gameplay of BioShock is underwhelming, the world, the ideas, and the lore and the story are all really fucking good. Hopefully they can keep some of that with whatever they do, whether it's BioShock or not. But all in all, I'm for it. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, me too.
No, I hope they keep that core thing, though. As long as they keep that and they just kind of build around that, it's hard to go wrong.
Absolutely.
So Trials Fusion is going to have custom maps cross-platform between PlayStation 4, PC, and Xbox One.
Okay.
I think this is awesome. It's one of the few times we get to see something besides, it seems like Grand Theft Auto 5 save
And
files.
Fallout 4 is supposed to have mod support between it's supposed to have a thing where you can download mods from the PC onto all the platforms.
Oh, cool. It's just throw my opinion out there real fast. It is very neat to see, even with the restrictions of the two competitors, that companies are finding a way to still share things across as multiple
Through
platforms.
servers, yeah. I mean, this cannot hurt anybody. This is only positive. This is great. I hope more companies do things like this. I know it's kind of hard to work between, Xbox and PlayStation 4, but it benefits everybody. It's really cool. It's cool that we can all go, hey, did you get that thing? Yeah, I got it because I also have access to it.
Right.
No, it's great. What do you think?
No, it's very cool. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, it's just only positive.
Definitely. Our third bit of news: Oculus Rift will every kit that you buy of Oculus Rift will come with the game Valkyrie, which is, I believe, is the obviously the VR version of Eve, not quite Eve, but it's a dogfight simulator. Yeah. I personally think this is a great thing because the Oculus Rift is already really cool, and it's cool to kind of get something with it. Obviously, we saw a lot of positives with the Wii-U and the Wii coming out with proprietary stuff that comes with kind of showing off the technology. I think this is a great thing that you're buying it already. You can already buy it, bring it home, try out something, and see why you bought it in the first place. It's great. It's a good idea.
No, yeah, that's awesome. It's like you said, it's you have something to test it out with.
As soon
not
as
just
you
like
open
buying
it.
It's like why did I buy this? It's like,
Why did I buy this fucking
well,
thing?
yeah, I mean, it's like the what I want to say, like the PlayStation Move and things like that. Even though there were games that came out with that, but it was definitely like,
PlayStation
hey, this is
9,
very PlayStation. Yeah, exactly. It's like I bought one only because I knew you can stream with it. But other than that, but it's just like when you buy it, you're just like, why did I get this? So it's cool that it comes with it, so you can just here you go.
Yep.
I'm on the same page. It's a nice way to you get the product and you get something to kind of showcase the capabilities of that.
Absolutely, it's a showcase for sure.
It's cool. So Grand Theft Auto 5 Online's next DLC is coming out soon, but not for last gen. So no PS3 and no Xbox 360. The new DLC is going to allow you to essentially make your own crime syndicate.
Very cool.
Wow.
I'm just gonna jump in real quick. It's too bad that the prior generation of consoles will not get this content, but it makes sense. We're a year and a half into 2 years into these consoles.
Pushing forward.
Yeah, it's
There's
time.
no reason for these people to go back.
Yeah. We want these current gen experiences, and I'm glad that Rockstar is. They've been supporting it for a long time. I'm glad to see that they are finally just going, you know what? We want to make these fucking great experiences that will not work on the last gens. It's time to upgrade, guys. What do you guys think?
No, I mean,
same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, and it sounds like a cool mode. It almost I don't own Grand Theft Auto 5.
No, that's
actually
really cool.
First reminds me of
online.
making guilds in like MMOs.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing, and it makes
what
me
that game
kind
was
of
trying to do.
interested.
The
So,
online is
And
trying
I
to
can't
do.
believe they're still supporting that fucking
No,
game.
I was about to say that. Like, it's crazy, but there's so much to do in that game. Like, and I mean, personally, we know Patrick was like the last person we knew, who we work with, Patrick, but he was the last person to know who was playing that game online. And I was like, oh man, I'll play with you. But I was like, at the same time, like, there's nobody personally that I know is playing it other than him.
Yeah, I tried
but they're
my hand
adding
recently.
more and more, and I'm like, man, I need to go and play that because
No, I wish I could go back and check it out, but I got rid of it. Maybe if it's on sale on Steam or something, I'll pick it up.
it's like APB a little bit.
Definitely. And last but not least on the shotgun round, Minecraft is finally coming to the Wii U. What do you guys think?
about time.
About time.
It seems meant for the Wii U.
Yeah,
Not
no,
meant.
definitely,
I mean, like
definitely.
more PC, but it's like the touch. If they can integrate with the
Inventory
touchscreen,
on the controller.
dude.
Yeah.
And I don't even play Minecraft, and I'm like that. But I can imagine people who you guys have played a shit ton of Minecraft. I can imagine
shit
that
ton.
being very helpful.
Yeah. The graphics, it makes sense. It should be able to run on there just fine. I think it's a game that people on Wii U would absolutely love. It's a great experience. The game's really fun. My biggest thing that I was thinking about is it'd be really cool if you could play one person on the screen, one person on your Wiimote, or what was it called? Wii Pad. Maybe do a little co-op or whatever. That'd be really cool. Because I know that the 360 versions and stuff like that had split screen.
Right.
Yeah, like you said, about time. I'm glad it's finally coming out for that. Everyone should have access to Minecraft. It's a phenomenon for a reason. It's Minecraft. It's fun.
You can get
it's
it on
creative.
your phone. That's
Yeah.
where that you
Exactly.
Can, you can play it on
That's
your
a really
phone
good
before
point.
you can play it on
It's on
the
On the Wii U,
everything
yeah,
else.
exactly.
Yeah.
So really cool. Hopefully, people on Wii U who have not played the game or maybe already played the game and want to play it on there have the chance to do it. So that's awesome. But yeah, that's the quickie bits of news, and let's get into the juicier bits. Okay, for our first bigger piece of news, Nintendo has put in a patent for a new controller. We have to speculate a bit, but there's actually photos released of the patent drawings, essentially, of what this controller could look like. We're not sure if it's for the NX or not, but it's safe to assume it is. From the pictures, and I'll try to include pictures of it on the screen, but it looks almost like it's a touchscreen controller with handles and analogs on it. What do you guys think of this? Do you have anything to add to that?
I'm definitely very curious because I don't think we've seen anyone attempt to literally turn a screen into also a controller.
Well, aside from iPhone and Android.
Right, but in the picture, it looks like the screen goes around the joysticks.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like the screen isn't just the controller, but there's physical controller aspects in this, like coming out of the screen goes around them.
It might be disorienting a little bit.
Maybe.
The big thing I thought of instantly was it's almost like obviously Nintendo has to hit that fucking that third party crowd, be able to bring in normal Call of Duty, not the Wii U version or the Wii version. So they have to create a normal controller, but at the same time they want to keep that touchscreen part of the console. With the Wii Pad, which I think is one of the best things they've created in a long time. So I feel like they're trying to make a normal controller with normal triggers, blah 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 blah. But it's also gonna have a screen on it, which would be great. But yeah, I it makes sense to me. They're already kind of they're really good about keeping their technology from the last consoles into their next ones.
So they have
the
to.
Wii to the Wii U.
Because Nintendo's very, like, you have to have buttons. Like, I'm never going to... If Nintendo, and I only own a Wii U because Taylor, my girlfriend, owns a Wii U, but it wouldn't feel like a Nintendo console if it didn't have buttons.
Sure.
If they're going to go for a straight, like...
No, I don't
so
think it's
that's
going to
it.
be like a straight
Yeah,
touchscreen
yeah.
interface.
That's what the analog,
But this feels like it's merging what we already know from like iPhone games, Android games, and it's also merging the controller aspect of playing any console. I feel like they're kind of trying to hit two things there with just having a normal controller, which they have not done in a while, and aside from things you can buy outside of the console when you get it.
Optional controllers. Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you. But also trying to keep that screen, which I think could work because I do really like the touchscreen. I like that they kind of brought a bit of the DS into the Wii U with that dual screen aspect.
Yeah.
It's benefited.
Cool.
The best thing they could do though is allow you to have multiple of these controllers because the Wii U only allows you to have one Wii pad. If you could have 4 controllers with touchscreens on them, with all screens on them, you could play individually, split screen on each one of these controllers. I think that'd be really fucking cool, and that'd be almost a game changer.
One of the thing one of the first things I remember thinking of when we got the Wii U and then looking at this controller as well, patent as well, is I've always kind of liked that having the screen in the middle of the controller. Anyways, even since like the Dreamcast where the VMU was in there,
love it. Yeah,
and had the little screen. And I'm not even really particular in sports games, but I remember playing like the 2K football games and all your moves are on the card.
Oh yeah.
And so they couldn't see you.
And it wasn't like hit
very
Y, X, square. I'm mixing controllers, but yeah, there was no televised version of it. You could just kind of look at it and be like, this is what I want.
Revolutionized everything. Yeah,
absolutely. That was really cool. I completely forgot about that.
It was a cool feature, and you can only do that with that. So,
and that's the thing about Nintendo is they have all these cool ideas, but they don't utilize them. You could do so much with that, even to that degree, that small degree that's been done years ago. If they put sports games on whatever, the NX or whatever, with that controller, you could plan out your plays on your controller. Everyone's doing their own plays or whatever. If you're playing a 4-player shooter or whatever, every person could be swapping out their guns and checking their inventory and stuff like that on their controller. I mean, how fucking cool would that be? That like you said, I'm not trying to get Nintendo too much fucking credit, especially since this thing is not confirmed or out.
Yeah.
But it could change shit for
sure.
They
do try to push, I would say, more than any of the other
definitely more experimental.
They're inventive for sure. It's just they don't support it with games.
Yeah. Because I mean, like even when the Wii came out, it was like the nunchuck and the Wii remote. I mean, like I was still like, well, this is weird as hell. But when you actually play a game that's good, you're like, oh man, this is awesome. Like I remember playing fighting games with that. I was like, this is like Naruto was one of the things. I was like, man, you actually have to like move around and do all this thing. And, like it's very cool. So the Wii U thing is like it's an actual screen. I don't know. It's just and the fact that they, like I said, this is not confirmed. You know, but it's like they're still trying to push something. As where Xbox and PlayStation are just upping what they're good at.
Yeah, I mean, like, you had Xbox trying to push the all-around box in your front room, does cable, does multitasking, all that kind of shit. Really fucking cool. You had the PS4 trying to give you a hardcore console with some extra features, like the touchpad and all that stuff like that, which I think is great. And yeah, Nintendo always comes up with these really cool ideas, but they can't back it with the software. Like I said, if they could allow you to have 4 controllers with fucking screens on, touch screens, there were actual controllers to play any game you wanted. I think it'd really be kind of nailing what they want to do and what people need to have for a console. And it'd be perfect. I mean, I really hope they're doing that because that would it's a great idea. Otherwise,
they're looking ahead, which
absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. Actually, I'd love to see more on it.
I definitely want to see what it turns into for sure. So for our next bit of news, the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is being developed on the Unreal Engine now, and we have found out is going to be episodic instead of one piece. A big reason for this is because they want to expand upon the game, make the scale larger, add more details, and give the story something more. We have been kind of like fed little bits of information about this over the course of time, so this obviously can all change still as well. But I mean, what do you guys think about this?
The biggest thing, first off, is the episodic part that I want to talk about real fast. Well, real quick. The Unreal thing makes sense. You have an engine that's really easy to code for. Obviously, everyone's been using Unreal since the fucking beginning of time in gaming. And with Unreal, it makes sense because it looks fucking great. It's easy to make. And we've already seen it. I'm happy with the way it looks. And the particle effects are fucking great. Yeah. But the episodic thing is really interesting because when I first heard about it, I was actually really like, what the fuck? Because like I was looking for this big chunk of fucking content. I was like, I want Final Fantasy VII as is. The episodic thing makes sense because they said they essentially want to get it out faster to people. They want to release the content quicker to people. They want to get you in and then work on the rest of it. I can respect it and also not like it at the same time because I do want to play it as soon as possible, as long as it is what it should be. But it also kind of sucks because I'm really curious about how you take. It's not a Telltale game. It's not like it's a story that you're kind of building upon and then you got to wait for the next part. You're going to be leveling, getting new equipment, stuff like that. So they're going to have to transfer all that stuff over. So it's kind of weird, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm torn. I'm torn because it makes sense to give us content, to let us play it for a little bit. Almost like the demo for 15. It's like they're going to release that and then update it or something and then release the next thing. I don't know. It's really interesting. I'm for it as long as they do it right. I don't know. It's really hard to really have an opinion on that.
Right.
It's just different than what I expected, so it's hard for me to not be.
I think it's going to piss a lot of people off.
I think it already has. Yeah.
Well, it already has, but I'm just saying when it comes to, especially the current state of games where we're getting like early access, not saying that this is early access, but just like we're getting chunks of games that aren't ready to be released yet. And I'm not saying that that's what they're doing, but people want, especially Final Fantasy VII, because when that got announced, everyone was just like, yes. Yep. This is it.
Absolutely.
And this is very whole. I mean, Final Fantasy VII is very holy to gamers. I mean,
it's one of the holiest of holies. Yeah.
So the fact that they're, I mean, with all the new stuff and the fact that they already talked about how they're changing the gameplay, which we could all agree on, looks amazing. Looks great. Awesome. I mean, I'm not pissed off about that at all. But this seems a little bit like it just seems like they're going to release it in episodes and we're getting a little taste and then they're going to release like a little bit more and it's just like going to have to keep us like a little more.
I'm also curious about the price point. How many pieces are they going to release of 7 pieces, 7 episodes? And are they going to be $15-$20 a pop? Is it going to round out more than $60 when it releases?
When the price comes out, that's when
I'm curious about that, and at what point are it's an interesting strategy because how many people are actually going to keep buying the episodes? Because a lot of people, everyone loves Final Fantasy VII, everyone wants to play through it, blah 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 blah. But the current gamer at this point, to keep their attention, I mean, people struggle with that all the time. They release things constantly to try and keep you playing the game 3 months in, let alone, however long it takes to create every single chunk of content.
This is Final Fantasy VII, though. This is like, I mean, obviously there are going to be new people playing this game. Yeah. But I mean, like us, who have played this game years ago. Yeah. It's like we want the game now. Yeah. So it's like that core...
But in that regard, though, that first episode is giving you it right now, but not the whole thing.
Well, that's what I mean. I just feel like the core gamer wants the game.
The whole thing, absolutely. Yeah. But I think they're trying to feed
that's different enough. It's already going to be a completely different game. Yeah. I'm saying completely different, but like very different than the original. But yeah.
Honestly, I can wait as long as they need, because I have been, for them to complete the whole thing and release it as one chunk.
Right.
But I can understand the episodic nature of it because, like I said, it gives you
it's not Telltale.
A piece now. And that's the thing I'm curious about because there's a lot of things that has to transfer over. Yeah. Stats, equipment, all that kind of stuff, which they'll handle. But like it's just, it's a new thing that when it comes down to it, it's something that we're not used to. It's not something that we really expected or wanted. But people bitched and got weird about what the combat system might be like, and it's completely different. But I'm happy with it. So I have to kind of trust what they're doing with it. You haven't said anything really.
Yeah, I was kind of collecting my thoughts. So I have mixed feelings about it too. Hesitations, I guess would be a better way to put that. Now, to defend them, I do want to say that if you think back at the length of time and gameplay that was involved in Final Fantasy VII, and then you want to bring that to current gen and now give it full voice acting, which, as we've seen with games, takes a lot of space, right?
Definitely.
I mean, to use like Titanfall as an example, 2/3 of the game when you install it is audio.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
Now, if this is a part of the reason to make it episodic, to save on disk space and be able to have a full-fledged voice.
I never thought about that. Maybe it is fucking that big.
Well, and think about it. Like, that game's already on 3 discs on its system.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, most people play it between like 60 and let's say like 80 hours if I had to guess. It's been a while. I'm a little rusty on the figure. But
no, you're right.
You spend most of that time, even in the storyline, and even when you're done with that 60-hour chunk, you had all the extra stuff to do still. And now you're going to take all that, you're going to make it look the way it looks. We've seen it, and if you haven't, go watch the teasers for
Beautiful.
it. You're going to take all that, all the gorgeous graphics with the voice acting, and then look at the Midgar scene.
Yeah.
We had that before with Diablo-esque camera. Stuck here, no 3D. They literally could just paint a little picture for you to run on.
Yeah, and
and
the
you
3D
ran through
object
that.
was the character.
Yeah.
In that teaser, we get them in a 3D environment, and then with the extras, broken wall that you got to shimmy through and stuff, and they find attention to details and stuff now.
My only thing though is Final Fantasy VII has this expansive world that you can go back and forth from certain locations and shit. So I'm curious about that because once you play the first episode, you're gonna be like, wait, you're gonna be doing the beginning part where you're blowing up fucking sector, whatever the hell it is, 7 or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's like 6 or
you're gonna blow that up. You're gonna go back to the hideout. Fucking Avalanche is gonna get fucking killed off or whatever. Spoiler alert. Go play the game.
They all die.
But they all die and it's horrible. But like, say you're 3 episodes into it and you've unlocked like the golden saucer. Are you gonna be able to backtrack all the way to the content that you had before, or like, are you gonna be stuck within that episode?
So, the PlayStation version, you got the open map right off the bat.
There is discs,
and you never had to backtrack on discs. The only thing the extra disc was doing was the rest of the story stuff you still needed
and the
to
cinematics
do.
and shit.
And the cinematics.
Yeah.
But you still had your map. You still had all the random encounters.
Sure.
You still had the places that you would unlock to go to.
It wasn't different then.
And you could backtrack and be on disc 3 the whole time. So the only thing they really have to do here...
Sorry, at that point, it's not really that different.
No. Because it was kind of...
It's like they're
episodic
releasing
already.
you a disc at a time back then. Which is weird.
I mean, they released them at the same time. They
Sure,
did.
but I'm saying it's like that now. It's
What-
like every chunk episode is like they're giving you a disc, which is at the same time is kind of weird, but at the same time, it's I don't know. It kind of makes sense.
No, what you're saying is like if we all waited this long, I can wait a little bit longer. But at the same time, it's almost like you're giving us a game that we've all been waiting for, but now you're going to release it in chunks. Like I said before, it's like giving us a little taste. It's like like just give me the game, and I get it. But if also, how many chunks?
That's what I was saying originally too.
Yeah.
And like I said originally before, I mean, I could wait
like
as
3
long as
chunks,
they
and I'm
need
like,
to,
all right,
because I
that's
never
discs.
expected this game to come out in general. Like at some point I was like, oh, they'll make it, but like, I've waited this long anyways. Like if they were like, hey, 3-4 years from now we're gonna release Final Fantasy VII, the whole game, I'd be fine with that. It'd be a shitty wait, but
Like I don't want to get
I'm
to the
waiting
I don't want to
anyway.
get to the part where Cloud meets Eris, and then it's like episode over.
Well,
Oh, dude, yeah, she gets killed and it's done. Which would be a great cliffhanger.
that is
But-
disc 1, though, isn't it?
No, it is. No, but I'm talking about first meeting, like, because that's a huge
You're
chunk of
talking
gameplay.
about when you buy a flower from her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but
'Cause, I
that's
mean,
after
that's
the first reactor, though. I mean, that would be really weird if the...
Well,
one
I
episode
know
was only
it's not
one
going to be
reactor.
released in those, but I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when it comes to like how many chunks it's going to be, like maybe if they literally go from chunk to chunk, like how the discs are, I mean, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
But if it's like they release it in like
Yeah,
like 6
I don't know.
episodes, I'm like,
I think because of the fact that it has a full voice acting cast to
is
it
good.
is a huge part of it. Because even if you go back to the first game where they had full voice acting, Final Fantasy X, the open world went away. It's gone. And if they want to keep this game true, they got to bring that open world back.
That's true.
Right? So
give and take.
I think there are some factors there that maybe...
That's it though, man. It's give or take in this situation.
So we'll see, because we don't know what the factors are there, and they also did say they want to expand upon the story, and some of that might just be to make continuity between it and the other games they've made based off that franchise.
I can get around that. Yeah.
So I mean, you have Advent Children it has to tie into. You have Before Crisis it has to tie
Well,
into.
That's the thing, and I don't want to make this into fucking Final Fantasy VII fucking Tasty Tuesday as much as I would love to, but I'm really excited about this game because it looks fantastic. It looks like it's going to play really well. Skeptical about the combat system. It looks fucking awesome because
Yeah,
I love
it's
action
really
games anyway, so I'm fine with that. I can't wait to see the shit fucking fully rendered in great fucking modern day
good.
graphics.
Good.
Have that cinematic feel, whatever, blah blah blah. Everything looks fucking amazing. The episodic thing is questionable, but we have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, the biggest thing is fucking like hopefully they can make the episodic thing work.
I have faith. I feel like
Everything
this is very, like we're saying, it's a very holy.
Holiest of holies, man.
They're going to try very hard. The Square Enix is going to do very hard to not fuck this up.
I hope so.
This is the game of games. Like this is what got me. Final Fantasy VII is what got me into games.
Got a lot of people. Final Fantasy VII is one of the first games ever to show people that video games are not toys anymore. They are the next generation of multimedia. Yeah. They are along the lines of movies, music, literature. Like you said, it's one of the biggest properties you could ever fucking tackle, and I really hope they do everything they can and take their fucking time on making this perfect, absolutely perfect. And if they have to do it episodically, and they think that's the perfect way to go, we have to trust them, and hopefully they fucking nail it. Because we have no control over it. It's questionable, the episodic nature of it, but the rest of it, I'm fucking so for it, stupid. Sure. I'm so ready for it.
Well, and to prevent obviously an hour-long episode, I'm just gonna summarize real quick for the way I feel. I am optimistic, but cautious.
Mm-hmm. So. Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
All right. Let us know in the comments below what you think of the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Are you excited for it? And also let us know, what do you think of the episodic nature of it? I'm really curious because this is a really blurry area. We obviously are torn on it, so let us know in the comments below. All right, on to the next topic. So in our final bit of news, Overwatch, the highly acclaimed game, much hyped game by Blizzard, has some news coming out. What can you tell us about that?
They are currently undecided on microtransaction plans. Mm-hmm. So I guess their focus right now isn't how to make money off the title, but is how to just make sure it's a solid game and entertaining for the fans. They also have stated that they don't want gear in the game and equipment to be stat-based, but purely cosmetic. Most likely, obviously for balance reasons and stuff like that, and to make a competitive game. So,
yeah, which is cool. I can commend that. It's essentially like Team Fortress 2. They're essentially saying that you're not going to level up and get stats. You're not going to level up and get new weapons, but you are going to be able to unlock new aesthetic things. I assume that's to maintain the balance of the game. We'll get into that in a sec. The microtransactions, though, you're saying, how's that going to work?
Well, they don't know yet.
They don't know yet.
They don't.
They want to focus on the gameplay first before how they're going to make money. That's how I understand it.
They don't have a plan for monetizing the game yet. Besides selling the game in the first place.
Okay, so I'm not. This guy's not really fucked up. I'm not the biggest Blizzard fan. That's not an insult, but I'm not the biggest Blizzard fan. I love Diablo 3, and I respect everything Blizzard has done. They're on top of their game and what they do. It is very commendable, though, in my opinion, for them to focus on the gameplay first before how they're going to make the money after they release the game. A lot of games do not focus on this. I would say most games don't. Most of the time they make the game with plans on how they're going to support the game, which is good, but at the same time keep getting revenue from it. So it's really cool to hear that they just want to make a solid fucking game. That's really good. That's great. I think the game looks great already. So that's good. As for, I'm kind of hopping in my own opinion real quick. The aesthetic thing makes sense to me too, because in a game like this, it seems like there's so many characters with so many abilities that you would not want to exacerbate that much with the idea of upping stats and changing weapons. As much as that'd be great, I think you want that core gameplay that people can come back to, strategize, and know what they're getting into. So at the same time, that's great. I think it's a really good idea. You have Team Fortress 2 that does the hat system. As much as people are really into that. Be able to change your costume, hats, blah, 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 is really cool, especially if they create a system that, like, you did so much, all of a sudden you get this really cool, like, gold gun or fucking, cool suit, kind of show off what you've done. It's good. I think overall the whole thing is a really good idea, and I think they're treating it very respectfully. What do you guys think?
Well, first off, Blizzard is one of those companies who've already established themselves, and they're already like they're in the pot of money. They have it,
absolutely,
so they can do this. Mm-hmm. A lot of games that are coming out now, which a lot of people end up bitching about, who do the whole microtransactions thing, is companies who are indie who don't really have they have that in mind, like you were saying before. It's like making the game, which are like, this is gonna be fun, but then they're like, how are we gonna make money off of this?
Yep.
Which is not really. It kind of is and isn't a like slap in the face to fans, because it's like, or people who play the game, because people bitch about like, whoa, we just got this game, now we have to pay money to it. It's like, well, they have to keep developing it.
I think if they do it respectfully, though, it's not so big of a deal. Like when the game comes out and there's already DLC coming out like a week later, it's insulting, because it's like, that could have been in the game, blah blah blah. They're obviously looking to make that extra money.
But as far as multiplayer games go, I'm thinking of H1Z1 when that came out.
Sure.
That was a big deal, because it was like, there's no. First off, they said there was going to be no microtransactions, and then when the game came out, they're like, well, you're going to get these, you can buy
which
these
is
crates,
shady.
but gives you an up in the world, which is, when it comes to multiplayer games, that's a big deal. That's a sweat.
Shit, yeah.
That's a sweat. Like, so. The fact that they're not doing this yet.
Well,
is
I love the idea that they're not even thinking about it.
Yeah. They're one. Yeah.
The transparency is great. I love anything, any company, anything, any brand that's transparent. I like knowing. Just be honest about it. If you're trying to make money, let me know. That's fine. I just hate when people are shady about shit.
Yeah.
Like you said,
Yeah.
We're not going to do this, and then they did it.
And they make an apology a week later, being
exactly.
like, hey,
and now I'm like, well, can I trust you as a company and a product? But if you come out and be like, you know what, we're going to release the game. We have like 3 DLCs we're planning. We plan on selling this to you guys. I can plan on that. I can go, you know what, I'm gonna buy the game. I'm gonna play it. If I like it enough, I'm gonna buy those DLCs. That's fine. That's cool. Exactly. Yeah. Like the biggest example for me is Call of Duty. You can expect every Call of Duty to come out. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be full of fucking content like Black Ops 3. But we know those map packs are gonna come out. Now, if you're invested enough in the game, you're going to buy those map packs.
Right.
Because you want those new maps. You want the new guns, maybe, if they introduce them. They're not going to change the whole fucking game, but it's going to add something to it. And that's fine, because we know it's coming. There is transparency there. But when it comes to companies telling us, just like Payday 2, they said that they weren't going to be doing that, and then they did it. And people bitched, and now they're trying to fix it. I mean, it's an embarrassing situation that they can completely avoid. And I think it's really cool that Blizzard is going ahead of the release and saying, you know what, we really want to make sure this game is fucking solid. We want to make sure you guys really fucking enjoy it, and we want to make sure that fucking the game is first before how we can make money off of you, because they will eventually make money off of us afterwards.
Sure, it's Blizzard.
Just make sure that we're not disappointed with the game when it releases.
But it's actually like a one-up. Actually, very cool for them to come out. Maybe it's like them trying to be like, well, we don't want to be like everybody else, trying to do like all this publicity, like bad publicity coming out, but it's like they're gonna be like, hey, off the bat, this is what we're about. Boom. Which Blizzard's a big, like I said before, Blizzard's a big company, and they already are established.
If anybody has experience on fucking releasing content and releasing more content for something to please fans, it's Blizzard.
Yeah. I think the only thing they're really guilty of is they're often late. Like they've delayed.
Sure, but I mean, if they know how to release content that makes people happy, though, even if it doesn't make happy, they know how to fix it.
Absolutely.
They have a track record.
I think is a great example.
Yeah.
Diablo 3, wow, everything.
Yeah.
What was the? I was thinking of the last, or Reaper Souls was the last one to come out, and that was the only one that came out.
For Diablo 3,
expansion,
It was awesome.
so much. It fixed the game. It fixed
literally.
the game.
Which sucks because it's
all
like
the complaints are
released. Exactly. But I mean, they released in patches. But yeah, basically, this was like, this is the game you wanted. But yeah, anyway.
No, it made it from a good game to an awesome game.
Yeah.
It did.
Anyway, yeah.
Having played a few Blizzard games, I played WoW for a while. I've seen how they monetize that besides monthly subscription.
But do you love StarCraft?
I like the single. Well, no, but
one.
It's a test.
I like the storyline.
But do you like Warcraft, the original?
No, not really.
Sorry. Anyway, keep going.
But
sorry, fan.
I have seen how they have made extra money in their games. So like in World of Warcraft, you could go to their website and buy mounts, pets, vanity items and stuff like that. None of that stuff matters.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't change the core mechanic
but
of the
like
game.
myself, I like, even when I was playing, I had bought a couple of those things because they put a little extra work to them. Like the pets in the game by default, they just kind of stand there and have little idle animations.
It's
but
cool.
once you buy,
I'm not even a WoW fan, and
like,
I've
you
seen
can
some of
interact with
the
and
things you can buy, and I was like, they have full animations. They have
Yeah.
characteristics. They have things that you can be like, I bought this, and I don't feel like a piece of shit because it's not just standing there like.
Well, a good example would be one of the raid bosses you could get a little pet of, and you could use him as a cooking fire.
Yeah, utility. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And
That's awesome.
It doesn't change anything in the game.
How much does stuff normally range in WoW when it comes to buying mounts and things that follow you around?
If my memory's still good on it, 10 to 25.
And that's fair. That's fair because like I'm thinking like Neverwinter, which is a fantastic free-to-play MMO if you've never played it. The only thing I don't like about it is their microtransactions are very steep in their price to the point of things being like $60. It's been a while since I played, so maybe they've changed that. But as when I was playing it, buying a mount was like $60. That's the price of a fucking game, and I know that the game is free, but that you have to be invested, and I was invested. You have to be invested in the fucking game.
What about
to
Guild
want
Wars
something.
2? Because the last time I went through, it was like to
Guild Wars
things
2
like
has aesthetic stuff you can buy. You can buy boosters, stuff like that. I think they're pretty fairly priced. You can also gain in-game or the currency to buy stuff in-game, which is a good way to do it. Just like Warframe, I preach about Warframe all the time. You can gain the currency to buy things in-game by selling things
to
it's
people.
a completely fair system. I've spent way too much money in that game.
It's just time.
Exactly.
Well, and
it's all about
we talked
investment.
about it multiple
The best
times,
thing you can do is make a quality product, which I'm hoping Blizzard's doing with this new game, and make you invest in it. And at the point where you are hooked and you love this game, you will not think about spending extra money because it's something you. I mean, this is a part of you. You're like, I love this game. This game's
But that's
awesome.
what games have to do, especially now. Well, because they have to, especially because everybody's bitching about like microtransactions stuff like that. Which is like a good game is like keeping the currency. Well, I'm saying like time based. Like if you don't want to wait, because Warframe. Actually, the last time I played was like I got all the bits and pieces to make a new Warframe, but then I had to wait like 24 hours. So I was like, I don't want to fucking do that. That's why I never made me come back to the game.
You
but
can speed that up with money.
Yes, which is cool. I mean,
But the
I
great
don't
thing
mind
about that, though, in Warframe, is the money that you could spend to buy the thing that you need to speed that up, you could also gain within the game by getting stuff, by playing the game, getting a mod that someone might want from you because they didn't get it on the drop, and you could sell to them for that that
real money currency.
Real money currency. Thank you.
That's pretty intricate. But...
And it's not even that rare of a thing. It's very, very commonplace in the Warframe community to the point where Josh has bought a shitload.
Is huge on it.
Josh has bought a shitload of stuff in game through real money currency from things he has sold in game to people.
Really?
It's completely balanced. When people bitch about anything that has to do with real money currency in that game, you can gain it without ever spending
I
real
think the
money.
only hiccup there is that in the beginning of the game, those wait times seem to mean something, but later on,
You have to
so
invest
many
the
things
time.
crafting that you don't even notice.
Yeah,
It's
it.
all
yeah,
a blur.
that
It's
makes
hard to
sense.
keep track.
Which is what they want.
Back to Overwatch, though.
Yeah.
The one thing I essentially just want to say about this is Blizzard has not shown at any point in time a bad structure for them to make money off people. Which
They have a great
is a weird
track
way to
record
word
for that, for
but
sure.
like even games that don't like. I'm not a huge StarCraft fan. I'm not a huge Heroes of the Storm fan or Hearthstone.
This one's good.
But the way they make money, I've never gone, well, that's shitty. It makes complete sense. And Hearthstone's case is a good example. You can buy the expansions with real money.
Is it Hearthstone or Hearthstone?
It's probably Hearthstone.
Let us know in the comments below if we're saying it correctly. Hearthstone or Hearthstone?
But
Anyway.
in that game, you can either buy the expansions, which is the single player stuff in that game, or you can play the versus other people of the arena.
Yeah.
To earn enough currency to buy it with in-game money.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So
Or you could buy packs. I mean, it's just like it's just like chances. Buying chances.
They've done a really good job.
Gambling.
They'll do it again. I'd be really surprised if this game comes out and has really like shady system. So.
Yeah. Because it's just what we were saying before is Blizzard, like they know what they're doing. We've said that, and then they know they're structured. They know what they're doing. They're not about to jeopardize their integrity.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'm not even remotely worried.
Yeah,
Me neither.
Huh?
To sum it up, I think they're on the ball. They know exactly what they're doing. There's nothing to worry about, and I can't wait to play Overwatch. To be honest.
Yeah, it's not even my type of game, but the opening lineup of characters is absolutely impressive.
Staggering.
So-
It's overwhelming. There's so many characters. I can't wait to play it. Give me a beta key or just release the game. When's the game come out? Does anybody know?
I don't.
Comes out whenever. It'll come out when it's ready.
Perfect.
But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I think it's going to do it for Tasty Tuesday on Tasty Loot Gaming. As always, thank you for watching. Check us out on Tumblr and Twitter, Tasty Loot Gaming. Check us out on Twitch, Sleep Division, all one word. And yeah, make sure to like and subscribe this if you liked the video. And yeah, my name's Seth.
And I'm Chevy.
I'm Cody.
And make sure to stay with us all week. We have shows coming out all week. Just Cause 3, if you guys are playing it or if you want to play it, we got a video on that coming up. But until then, thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next episode. Take it easy, guys.